Okay, stop right there. Before you drop £2,000 or even more on your next flagship TV, let me tell you why the Philips OLED+910 could be the one, or why it might just break your heart. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Phil Hinton and today we're looking at the Philips OLED+910. Now this is the first Philips TV that features the primary RGB tandem panel, which does throw out around about 2100 nits of brightness in the filmmaker mode. And of course, wrapping up the whole package is their four-sided Ambilight, which is an excellent bias lighting that actually works and nobody else in the industry has it, but is a great light show and a fantastic Bowers Wilkins soundbar, enough to beat off the absolute juggernauts this year from LG, Panasonic, Sony and Samsung. Well, we've put the 65-inch model through the calibration ringer, and spoiler alert, it's not perfect, but was there any perfect TVs this year? So in this video we've got the technical deep dive, the real world performance and the straight up truth on where this Philips wins and where it stumbles. So stick around, check out the video, you're going to want to see the results. But before we get stuck into all of that, thank you again to everyone who's subscribed to the channel recently. It's really appreciated. And of course, there's lots of you out there watching the content who haven't quite clicked on that subscribe button yet. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, it really does help us build the channel and provide you with a lot more TV, AV and hi-fi reviews. So please remember to do that at the end of watching the video or before you leave. That really would be appreciated. You can also read the full in-depth review of the OLED+910 on AVForums, where you go into a lot more detail than we can cover in this video. And we also publish our reviews on the website first, with our videos appearing a short time later on our YouTube channel. And also remember that our reviews are never sponsored. We bring you honest and unbiased reviews to help you make the right buying decision. AVForums is also one of the largest AV and hi-fi communities on the web, so why not head over there and check out what like-minded tech enthusiasts are saying about this TV and many others at avforums.com. So let's start with the heart of the beast. The OLED+910 sits just below the absolute flagship, the OLED+950, but frankly, this is probably the one that people will buy. It's well built with a few subtle tweaks to the grey Cavrat or Cavrat. I can never quite say that. But their audio mix speaker cloth is a lighter colour of grey this year compared to last year's 909, and the plastic feet that match in with the same colour and also have the logos on them. Under the hood we have a Meta 3.0 primary RGB tandem 4-stack OLED panel, which comes from LG Display. And yes, this is the same generation panel as many of the top tier rivals. But the magic is in the brain of these TVs, and Philips' 9th generation P5 AI single chip processor is on board here, and that's what takes the raw panel performance and applies Philips flair to it. And of course we have Ambilight, and if you're planning to wall mount the TV, the four-sided Ambilight is a massive win for consumers. For critical movie viewing, we calibrated it to a static D65 white point, and that acts as a phenomenal bias light, which genuinely does reduce eye strain in a dark room. All of the professional colour graders out there in Hollywood, anybody making any design choices on their display monitors, they all have bias lighting. It helps reduce eye strain and keep your eye at a certain level so you see the image as you should be seeing it. This TV from Philips has it all built in. It's fantastic. For gamers, set it to follow the action and it's pure unadulterated immersion. It creates the whole package. Your peripheral vision is taken up with the colours changing, with what's happening on screen, and it looks fantastic. I've been measuring, calibrating and reviewing TVs for well over 2 decades now, and I'm trained and certified by the ISF, THX and PVA calibration bodies, so you can trust these numbers. Plus, if you want to deep dive and get into these graphs in a lot more detail, you can read the full review over at AVForums. Our testing rig consists of a Meridio 7 generator, Calman Ultimate software, a Klein K10 meter, which is profiled to a Jetty 1511 high-res spectral. Okay, so we're going to get technical here. However, I'm going to keep it informative but brief, so there's no need for you to jump ahead at this point. Out of the box, filmmaker mode is mostly accurate. There are a few inconsistencies in our measurements, but nothing that is going to basically be visible to you because it's all under the visible threshold of 3. So most people won't even notice the errors that are seen on the graphs here. But we did calibrate everything, and it's what we do here at AVForums. And this TV is at such a price point that I would recommend professional calibration. And with Calman AutoCal, we achieved reference results. Grayscale was perfect, and our Delta E errors averaged 0.9, which is miles under the visible threshold of 3. So that's just simply stunning. Now for HDR numbers on the industry standard 10% window, the OLED+910 measured in at 2178 nits, and that's seriously bright for this panel technology. It also tracks the PQ EOTF to the standard accurately in filmmaker mode. Plus, Philips is HDR format agnostic, so you get Dolby Vision, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and so on. You don't get any of the format FOMO here. There are also a few menu options that can be set depending on how you want the TV to tone map your content, and I'll go into that in a lot more detail within the written review for those of you who really want to know how that works. This display also achieves excellent wide colour gamut performance, accurately tracking DCI-P3 saturation to most of the points. And this means that out of the box HDR10 content is displayed with the most accurate colours possible, and we found no issues with these results. We measured BT 2020 at 79% XY and 86% UV, with P3 coming in at 98% XY and 99% UV. If you appreciate our in-depth calibration data and the honest talk about TV tech, then do me a huge favour and hit that like button right now and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us bring you these flagship reviews. The OLED+910 offers excellent image quality, rivaling the competitors out there in most aspects. SDR content benefits from strong accuracy, fluid motion and sharp images. Colours are vibrant, rich and display natural lifelike skin tones, and the superb dynamic range further enhances the image depth and detail, complemented by excellent black level. But here's where we need to cover some of the issues seen with the picture quality on this set. In our torture test scenes, like the fade from black in A Quiet Place Day 1, we did observe minor posterization and overshoot artifacts. It's a flaw, and it's present in both the HDR10 and Dolby Vision clips. But to be fair, most of the top OLEDs this year are struggling with similar issues. But it's something to be aware of, and we've also made Philips aware of this, and they're looking into it. There is no such thing as a perfect TV, and each of the flagships this year has its own pros and cons. You need to pick the best that suits you and your use cases. With the majority of HDR10 and Dolby Vision content, the OLED+910 performs extremely well with a vast mix of test scenes. The rich tones of the fire guitars in Mad Max Fury Road are bright and colourful, and the 4000 nit sun in pan is round and detailed within the clouds, showing excellent HDR detail retrieval. There really is very little between the top end sets this year when it comes to picture quality, and the Philips, well, it's not perfect like most of the TVs out there. It competes with the best on the market. Well, the one thing you can do with this TV is save some cash on having to buy an external soundbar, because the integrated 3.1 Bowers Wilkins sound system is frankly superb. It's not a full-on Dolby Atmos experience. There's no upward firing speakers or anything like that that's going on. It pushes 81 watts of total power through 8 channels of amplification with acoustically isolated mid-range and tweeter enclosures, plus a decoupled 75mm subwoofer and 4 passive radiators. The result is a wide stereo soundstage, crystal clear vocals and a genuinely rich bass that outperforms most budget sound bars on the market. And gamers, you're not left out here. You get 2 full bandwidth, 48 gigabit per second HDMI 2.1 inputs, which means 4K 144Hz PC gaming and 4K 120Hz console gaming. That includes Dolby Vision on the Xbox. Plus, you've got all the acronyms possible for gaming. So you've got FreeSync Premium Pro, NVIDIA G-Sync, VRR, ALLM, and EARC. Plus, the P5 processor even has MEMC gaming mode, which smooths out judder in 60Hz games with minimal latency increase, which is a really nice feature for those of you that really hate judder. So this is where we earn our stripes, and how does the OLED+910 stack up against the competition? Once again, our big thanks to Peter Tyson at Carlisle, who have provided us with the LG G5 and Samsung S95F on long-term loan. They are retail stock, and we're keeping them here so we can put TVs that come through up against them, so we can always do these comparisons. If you want to help support our channel and let Peter Tyson know that it is appreciated that they help us out because it helps you guys at the end of the day, then please do consider buying your next TV from Peter Tyson. You'll find all the details in the description or on screen somewhere around here. So versus the LG G5, this panel is exactly the same. It uses the primary RGB Tandem OLED panel. So the main difference is the G5 just felt that little bit brighter in high APL scenes or average picture level scenes, and its gradation was also slightly cleaner and posterization, so there was less of it seen on the G5 than we could see on the Philips, but I expect Philips to bring their TV up to scratch as well. The trade-off, well, the Philips has the superior Bowers Wilkins sound system, and of course that Ambilight, if that's important to you. The G5 has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports against the Philips 2, and it's also much better UK-centric smart TV system, has all of the catch-up services, which the Philips is lacking. So my verdict is that for the whole package, the LG G5 pips the Philips on the raw HDMI image quality gaming features, but the Philips, well, the sound quality from Bowers Wilkins and the Ambilight are huge unique selling points. Then putting it up against the Samsung S95F, so the panel being used, of course, is the RGB Tandem panel in the Philips, up against Samsung's QD OLED panel. The main difference here is that the Samsung lacks Dolby Vision support. The Philips again supports everything from Dolby Vision, HDR10+, the whole gamut. The difference is in HDR10 content. I think the Samsung has a slight edge here on brightness and of course colour purity in the high APL scenes. Crucially, the Samsung showed a lack of image posterization where the Philips did struggle on this occasion. So the trade-off is QD OLED panels, well, they can raise black levels in rooms with ambient lighting, and of course this screen also has a matte style finish, which you may love or hate. That's going to be a deciding factor for you. The Philips maintains those perfect OLED blacks, plus it's got Ambilight and the full gamut of HDR formats. So in rounding up, if Dolby Vision is a must-have, then the Philips is a good choice, although you could go with the LG G5 or the Panasonic and Sony as well. And if QD OLED is a big thing for you, then the Sony has a QD OLED panel and Dolby Vision support. For pure HDR10 performance in a dark room, the two of them were really incredibly close, but I think the S95F just had the edge in this comparison. So in wrapping up, who should buy this Philips OLED+910? Well, it's an excellent choice for 3 types of viewers. If you're a movie lover who doesn't want to go out and buy a soundbar, but you also don't want the full 5.1 or 7.1 sound system taking up the whole living room and so on, then the Bowers Wilkins 3.1 system is genuinely good. It enhances your movie watching without all the clutter of the extra gear. Plus there is a subwoofer output, so even if you wanted to add a little subwoofer to add that a little bit more to the bottom end, you can do that with this Philips. The other one is Ambilight. This really is a unique selling proposition from Philips. Nobody else does it. You can go and buy the aftermarket LED strips and stick them on the back of your TV and then have this ugly looking camera that has to look at your TV to then match things up, and there's a few other examples out there. Philips have been doing this for 20 years and it is absolutely brilliant. If you want everything moving around on screen, whether you're a gamer or you like that real immersive light show, then no other brand has it built in. The really useful thing, and the thing that gets the big plus sign from me, is the use of a bias light. You can have it the one colour, you can set it to D65, the right brightness level behind the TV for watching in a dark room, and it saves your eye fatigue. And it's a fantastic option to have there, and it really is a USP for Philips. And then if you want to have all of the HDR formats, well, Philips does that on their OLED TV. You get Dolby Vision, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, HLG. It's all there, and that's disc services, streaming services, any of your HDR content, the Philips, no matter what the format, will play it back. Now, yes, there is only 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, and there are minor posterization issues which do hold it back from being the best TV of the year, but the OLED+910 puts in a hell of a performance. It delivers superb SDR and HDR accuracy, great gaming features, and the sound experience that some of the competitors just can't match. It also absolutely deserves to be on your demo list if you're looking for a flagship TV. And if you're still watching, then you've clearly got some good taste and you love in-depth TV reviews. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel here, like this video, and let me know in the comments section below, LG, Panasonic, Sony, Samsung, or this Philips, are you buying a flagship TV this year? And if so, which one? Take the conversation down into the comments section. I'll see you down there. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.